This is Headspace.
Welcome everybody to Headspace by My Mama Done Told Me. This is a show where we sit down with individuals who are experts in various fields, have unique experience in the world around them. We pick their brains about what it is they do, how they do it, what keeps them going. I am your host, Jeff Kolaski. I'm here with my co-host, my lovely co-host, and my mother, Mama Kathy. Hi, Mom.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, welcome back to Headspace.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
I think this is going to be a fun one.
It is. I can't wait.
Yeah. So our guest today is not only a powerful voice in the disability community, but he's also an inventor. He's an artist, a person of deep faith, and has an incredible story to tell. He actually reached out to me from after listening to one of our other episodes and said, "Hey, I think we'd have a good conversation if you're interested." And I said, "Absolutely, I'm interested." So it is my pleasure to welcome Kelvin Crosby, aka the DeafBlind Potter.
Wow.
Hi, Kelvin.
So cool.
Hi, it's so good to see you, even though I can't see you. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, man.
It is.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so great to have you. Appreciate you reaching out and checking out our show. That means a lot. And I was glad just to be able to have the opportunity to look into you and what you do and hear your story a little bit. And I'm excited to get into that tonight.
I just tell people I'm really good at sitting on the couch, picking my nose and doing nothing.
I'm good at that too.
But I don't even believe that. What I see and what I read about you, I do not even believe that.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kelvin, if you don't mind, could you give us a quick little snapshot of who you are, kind of how you describe yourself? Let's just start there.
I mean, I tell people, I'm a guy that lives beyond his challenges. I mean, my story isn't easy to hear. It's not for the weak of heart. And I tell people every day I have to grieve. And the choice is, do I grieve with sorrow or do I grieve with pain or grieve with joy? And each day I make that decision. And I was talking to my sister-in-law today and I was like, every day I get to make the best decision ever. That is to find joy today.
Mm-hmm.
And because when I lost my vision, when I was 19, it was a tough journey for me. And I was diagnosed with Usher Syndrome type 2 when I was 13, but we had no idea what that was going to do to my psyche or do to my life, like what I was going to do and all those things. And so I tell people, I'm just a guy just living today to live beyond the challenge.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool, man. So you're deafblind. Listeners, myself included, might be wondering, so deafblind that's exactly what it sounds like. You are legally deaf and you are legally blind.
Exactly.
That got me wondering, even when you reached out to me. So, how do you have your own podcast? You have, you've got stuff going on through social media and all that. So how are you able to, tell us a little bit about what that condition looks like for you? I mean, you're clearly able to hear me right now, so it's not total and complete deafness. Am I correct to assume that?
Well, I have the microphone far enough away so you don't hear the feedback off my headphones because it's so loud.
Okay.
But yeah, so my hearing loss happened at birth, and due to Usher syndrome and that, they didn't know that my parents didn't know I was hard of hearing until I was 1.5 years old. But basically, the definition of deaf blindness is you have a hearing loss and a vision loss. And basically, in my case, I had the hearing loss first, and then the vision loss. So, if you've ever heard of retinitis pigmentosa or RP, that's what the vision loss is in my case. And so when I was 19, I would say I'm more on the legal blindness side. I know today I'm more on everything just looks extremely blurry.
Okay.
And I lean more blind than I lean low vision.
Okay.
And so so that's what in my case I mean, everybody's different
Sure.
with my disease. Some people, they still drive at 60 and
Wow.
have my disease. You
Yeah.
know, I got the lucky card. No, I got it when I was 19. So
Yeah. Okay. Mom, how does all this sit with you? I'm interested in your perspective on this.
Well, I think as a mom, I think about how your parents must have felt when you were going
yeah.
through all this, and how, and I hope that they were supportive, and also learn to live with some joy through, a joyful life through this. But my first thought is how proud they must be of you, to live beyond your disability, to not only function but excel, and
Yeah.
just I don't know, it just blesses my heart and brings tears to my eyes.
Well, I mean, I will say, I'm actually sitting in my parents' house right
Oh,
now
nice.
doing today's recording. But I take up more square footage in my parents' house to run my companies than they have access to that house.
So
'Cause
supportive. Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
my pottery studio is in their backyard.
Very good.
Nice.
I'm in my childhood bedroom where my office is,
Mm.
and then my storage for all of the packaging and everything else is in my brother's old room.
Yeah.
And so, and honestly, my parents have been extremely supportive. I mean, they're the ones that said, Kelvin, yeah, we're gonna take the challenge and we're gonna
Mhm.
teach you how to just keep going. I
Oh,
mean,
thank God for that, huh?
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
they were a huge blessing in that way, and they still are. I mean,
Good.
even in the season I'm in today, like especially the most recent, like my dad runs my nonprofit,
Mm.
and then my mom, I tell people, I come to work, the food's already here, the office supplies is already
You got
here.
coffee.
Yeah, I got everything I need, and I don't have to pay for it. I said I'm paying for it in my inheritance.
All right.
Well, as a mom, I know you like to keep your kids around.
Yeah.
So this,
Oh
for
yeah,
you being there has got to be a huge blessing for them.
Mm.
And to see what you do has to just make their heart burst with pride. And I'm just happy for them that they can see this in you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like my parents are currently in Europe, and it's weird being here by myself. 'Cause, like normally I go get my cup of coffee, and my mom and I would talk during her watching The Price is Right, and then she reading her book, and we just talk about whatever, and then I go back to work, and then
Yep.
Yeah.
so
That's
yeah,
great. That's great.
Cool. So Kelvin, for our listeners and myself, I am pretty unfamiliar with Usher Syndrome type 2. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is? I want to get a little bit into your story, and I know so I don't want to take too much time, you having to repeat things you've probably repeated 100 times to people, but if you wouldn't mind just kind of telling us a little bit about what that is.
yeah. It means that I'm a really good rapper. So let me get you a good beat. A trick a baka bang bang bang.
Now I know what's going on our social media feed. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh man, I couldn't resist that one.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, Usher syndrome type 2 is one of the 3 different type of ushers.
Okay.
You have Usher type 1, you're born deaf, and then you lose your vision over time with retinitis pigmentosa. Usher 2 is what I have, and so you're born hard of hearing, and then you gradually start losing your vision over time.
Mhm.
And then Usher 3 is you are born normal, and you start gradually losing your hearing and your vision.
Okay.
And so those are the 3 different type of ushers that are out there. The first sign of vision loss is night blindness, and
Mhm.
that has a whole story in itself in my situation. But for the hearing part, it's always one of those you never really know.
Mm.
Is it ushers? Is it not? And you really gotta get genetic testing. And so that is one of the key things. That genetic testing is a key way to understand what type of ushers you have
Yeah.
and what gene line you're on. So
Okay. So you found out that you had Usher syndrome at age 19, correct? Is what you said?
no, I was 13.
Oh, 13. Okay. But
Yeah.
you
I became legally blind at
legally
age 19.
blind at 19. Okay. What was that transition like for you? Was that pretty, I mean, I'm just trying to imagine myself, hard of hearing is one thing. and comes with its own list of challenges and things like that. And then to add onto it the loss of another one of your senses, I can't imagine that's an easy transition to go through, especially at 19. I think back to where I was at 19, and I try to imagine what that must have been like. What was that like for you?
I mean, for me, it almost took my life 12 times.
12
because
times.
I didn't want to live with deaf blindness. See, when they gave me the diagnosis at 13, I was in denial.
Yeah.
But, and so, yeah, I started losing sports because I played competitive at a very high level. I played travel ball and soccer. And then I was good in that. I was a good athlete. The problem is I couldn't see the ball. But I kept being in denial. But when I was 19, it was that moment where I couldn't drive anymore. Where I realized I couldn't see the street light. I realized I couldn't do the thing that you're supposed to be able to see. And then it was right after a fall, hitting a chair. I hit it super hard, and I didn't see it. And I had milk in my hands, and I spilled all over me. And I was going to Bible school at that time, and I was so just like frustrated.
Sure.
And at that point, yeah, I said, God, help me through this. But the battle, the darkness that just overcame was real. I mean, it was so real. I mean, I was at a point where I'm like, why am I even alive?
Yeah.
And why am I even trying to be a human being with deaf blindness? That's not normal, you know? And I was at a point where like, all right, let's just end it.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the first couple of times I was nervous doing what I was doing. I was hiking up in the mountains. I did this in about 6 week period. I would hike up 12 different times, and I would go up in the mountain, and I would have some treats on me, and I would get up into where the caves were, where potentially the bears were hibernating, and um and I just try to end it. I mean, I didn't have the guts to do it myself. I wanted to go down on a fight, but it was one of those. The last time you heard that voice, I mean, we all hear that voice. The Holy Spirit
Oh,
saying,
praise God.
Kelvin, 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 I have a plan for you. I have a plan to use your deaf blindness. But you got to stop doing this. Go back to your dormitory and let's start finding joy in this challenge.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was when the day my life changed forever.
So that was your turning point.
Yeah.
That's when you said, I'm here for a reason. I'm not sure what that is yet.
Yep.
But let's start working on healing.
Exactly.
Wow. That's a somber one to just move on from. So let's move a little bit to the creative side of what you do. How did you find your way to the pottery wheel? Because that's a big part of your story.
I'll kind of feed into the somber and make it into a positive.
Please.
So I learned pottery when I was 16, and I was in high school. And so as I went through that process, I did it all by sight. And then after I finished Bible school, I was now deafblind, and so I needed to learn how to be deafblind. I didn't know how to do that. That was not something I understood. It wasn't something I knew how to do.
Yeah.
And so I went to Helen Keller National Center in New York, and they have a deafblind school there. And I started going through the training. And one of the things that they said is that you got to heal into the new life that you have. You got to work through that grieving, that pain, because it is painful. Like it's like when you lose something, you lose a loved one. It's painful. It's like I once could see, but now I can't. you
Right.
know?
It's grief.
And it's
Um,
never coming back.
Right.
It's
it's
never
never
going to
coming
come
back.
back.
Yeah. And so they would say, well, Kelvin, you did pottery in high school, so let's get you on the pottery wheel and you throw. I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept trying to look and look. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to get the clay to center or to get the clay to work. I couldn't do it. And I got so frustrated
I'm sure.
one day, and I just threw that clay across the room, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm done. And the therapist grabbed that clay, said, Kelvin, it's okay. Let's give it one more try.
Mm.
She threw that piece, she put her hands on the wheel with me, and we centered that clay together, and I was able to make a piece.
Yeah.
And that's when everything started to heal.
Wow.
So I would come back the next day, throw again. Yeah, still struggled, but got it centered, got it up, made a piece.
Mm.
Come back, do it again. I wanted to do something that nobody else could do,
Yeah.
even sighted people,
Mm-hmm.
and that was to throw big,
Hmm.
throw 25 pounds of clay, and make these giant pieces.
Yeah.
Without my sight.
What do you feel like this art form allows you to express that you? I know this is going to sound counterintuitive because I'm asking you to articulate with your words something that you can't articulate with words, but try to kind of tell me, what do you feel like that process gave to you, and allowed you to express that you were maybe missing at that time?
Yeah. I mean, for me, what I was missing was my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shortly after like that, several of those times, like I was a little nervous to travel by myself, but I started building that confidence. And as I started being able to make pieces, I started being able to realize, wow, I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 the thing is once you start getting that confidence, that is that hope. And in Romans 5:3-4, it talks about Apostle Paul says, also so rejoice in your suffering, persevere, knowing that perseverance builds
Leads
a
to
character that has hope in Christ.
Yep.
And at that moment is when I realized I can hope in anything. And so as I touch clay, as I make things today, even back then, the hope started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that hope transformed me to be able to essentially create this ecosystem with God and say, I'm going to be miserable in something, or I'm going to be frustrated in something. Something's going to be hard. Something's going to be painful. Something's going to cause me suffering. But I can find joy in it.
Wow.
And then I can persevere, right? See, you take that one step. You take that one step, but you don't do it by yourself. Right? You take that second step, you don't do that one by yourself either. Because you're leaning on the joy that God provides. And then next thing you know, you find that you're building a character that is a foundation where you realize the only thing you got left is hope. And you can make it. Yeah. And that's essentially what the clay does every time for me. It repeats that cycle of finding joy in the clay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'll never be able to see it. I sure can feel it though.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to doing something with your hands. I mean, you feel it. It's not just the physical use of your hands, but it's the ideas. It's the whole ideas, the whole planning, sometimes I'm a quilter, so I do a lot of sewing and designing. And it's not all about just the finished product. It's about the journey of getting there.
Right.
choosing the fabrics, choosing this, ripping out the mistakes, like you said, throwing across the room, but you go back and you pick it up and you keep going with it. And biblically, this story about the potter is so perfect about,
Exactly.
we're just a pot of clay in the master's
Yep.
hands. And that's kind of where you're at, I think.
I think there's something really cool about the healing through creativity,
Yeah.
across the board, whether you're dealing with something like Usher syndrome, whether you're dealing with something like anxiety or depression, whether you're dealing, whatever life is throwing at you, creativity has such a unique way of cutting through that.
Yeah.
If sometimes in my darkest moments, I go and, if I'm playing the drums or if I'm creating something out of leather or I'm, editing a podcast even, that can help level me out. And it sounds like you've experienced that same sort of thing. And Mom, and I know you have because of all the creative things you've done. It's just a really cool and interesting thing that the brain, the body, the essence, the soul can do when we get into those things.
Yeah.
So you started getting into talking a little bit about your faith. I know that's a big part of your story as well. Maybe in a nutshell, can you kind of, for the lack of a better term, quote unquote, what's the flavor of your religion or your faith? Speak to me a little bit about what that means to
Yeah.
you.
I mean, to me, when I look at my faith is having a relationship with the God Almighty through Jesus Christ, and you activating the Holy Spirit. And for me, I mean, I call myself a Christian, um, but for me, it's one of those. This isn't about a religion. This is a relationship that I walk, and this is a relationship that I go into, knowing that the more I lean into this relationship, the more closer I am with my Heavenly Father, as well with my friend Jesus and my teacher, the Holy Spirit. And when I think of him in those terms, when I see it in like, because I can see this, I can see all of that, and that, but it only comes with time and building and nurturing that relationship.
Right.
And so for me, it's one of those, like, I do go to a denominational church, but I don't necessarily say I take a denomination. But I tell people to get through this thing called life, to get onto that rocket ship that takes you to heaven, you gotta find ways to get closer to heaven. And this is, for me, is building this relationship, and it's what reading the word, worshiping, dancing in my kitchen when nobody can see me, like doing the crazy,
Yeah.
like thing that truly allows me to be in love with my God, my Heavenly Father. And it I try to tell people it is, when you have this relationship with Christ and have him as your savior, you find something so unique. There's nothing like it once you tap into it. But so many of us are so scared to go all in. But once you go all in, the freedom is unbelievable.
And the peace. And like you said, the hope as well.
Yeah.
Kelvin,
I understand that.
did this faith exist before your journey with your disability?
It kind of did.
Yeah.
And not at this level.
Right.
I mean, this came, really all of what I just explained came in about 2019.
Okay.
When I left working a normal 8 to 5 job.
Yeah.
And started working on my inventions and my businesses. And
Yeah.
so, because I knew what I was about ready to go do was going to change the world, but I couldn't do it on my own strength. And so that started that beginning of that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, I say I'm the biggest little light of mine you can ever shine. And I just it's truly is something in my life that I'm not ashamed,
Mm,
and I just want somebody else to have the same experience I have.
mhm.
But it is so peaceful.
Were there times during this journey, and I'm sure I know the answer to this, and maybe just speak to it a little bit, but that your faith was tested, that you doubted, things like that. I mean, everyone in the world goes through their struggles. We're talking
Yeah.
about yours right now. They may seem to some like they're more extreme, because a lot of us, myself included, can't imagine a world where I can't see or hear, right?
Mhm.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's just not something that I understand at this point in my life.
Mhm.
So I could see through that struggle, being that as a, yourself being a man of faith, that being tested, um, and doubted.
Yeah.
What brought you back? Tell me a little bit about how that has looked for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna try to get into that area of my life
Hmm.
that is not easy,
Yeah.
and I openly talk about it.
Thank
So
you.
after um I graduated Bible school, and I got heavily addicted. So I can still see at this point, and I got heavily addicted to porn. So this is when I was late 19 years old to 20, into my 21-year age range, and I just started spiraling. I'm like, God, I'm trying to live this life, but I have this other life,
Mm,
this secret that nobody knew. And this part of my life, it was one of those. I got so addicted to it. I shut everybody out,
mm,
and it took a friend of mine saying, "Come, where you been?" He literally came to my parents' house and said, "Where you been, man?"
Mm.
And I told him the truth, and then we built accountability. And that was the turning point where I said, God, you are real, and I'm ready to step forward. And like it, this relationship isn't easy. You have to battle
yeah.
through the temptations of the world, and you will fall. Like I fell hard. Even after having my encounter in the forest
Mhm.
with God saying, "You, I have a purpose for you with your deaf blindness." I still fell.
Yeah, that doesn't automatically take away all of
No.
your struggles and all of your. If anything, you're gonna get tried more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's where, so over time, like, so when I was 28, I lost the clarity in my left eye.
Mhm.
When I was 2020 is when I lost the clarity in my right eye. But the mistake I did when I was 28, I did not grieve my
Mm.
left eye,
Mm,
Wow.
but I still had my right eye.
It's so
And
interesting,
so,
and I don't mean to interrupt you, but it is so interesting to that concept of grieving a part of your. I mean, it makes total sense,
yeah.
and you have to. I would imagine you have to grieve that. You have to
Mhm.
go through whatever that process
mhm.
is for you, or your faith, or your family, or whatever it may be. You've got to go through that.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I'm going to let you finish. I just wanted to interject. Like, that is such a thing that I think, we talk about grieving when we lose somebody we love,
Mhm.
but I'm excited to hear you talk about the grieving of part of your own identity or your own
Yeah.
life or whatever that may
Yeah.
be. Yeah. So thank you.
Well, and honestly, I tell people that are going blind, start grieving now, and start looking at how you can find joy in it
Mhm.
now. Start preparing for the worst, but more than likely the worst isn't going to come.
Mm.
But if you prepare and you grieve that process, you're going to make it.
Mhm,
And it's going to be easier when that day comes, if that day comes.
mhm.
That day came for me, and I didn't grieve.
Mm.
And that was the thing, was when I lost the left eye, there was 2 times where I cried, and I had a moment in the doctor's office, and then once when I was doing public speaking, I was demoing what my vision looks like today. But the thing is, I never had a moment with that left eye and said goodbye.
Mm.
And I had that moment. I had to face that reality in 2020 of July. And because my right eye went. So I had to say goodbye to both eyes
Mm.
and say, I'm no longer going to allow you to control my life. I'm going to get a smaller phone. I'm going to only use voiceover. I'm only going to do things with a screen reader. I'm not going to do any more drawing and painting and anything like that anymore. I'm just going to say goodbye.
Oh my.
Wow.
And say, now, let me live through this challenge.
Yeah.
And how we all
And I
take,
did.
yeah, and how we all take for granted our eyesight and our hearing. And I don't take for granted my hearing because I have hearing loss too. But
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I
we
mean,
take for granted.
I know, Kelvin, you listened to our episode with Andrew Gerza, who suffers from cerebral the
Palsy.
the palsy. And several of our conversations have been too about how much you take for granted and everyday life. I mean, we don't even think about things like that. We don't even think about how hard it must be. You know, you mentioned, and this will kind of segue well into talking about your See Me cane. You mentioned losing night vision first, and how that has affected you, and what it branched you into being an inventor. And because now you have this product, and I'll give you a second to talk about it, but you have this product that brings, no pun intended, well, maybe pun intended, brings to light something that
we take for granted.
A portion of our population is struggling with. And that portion of our population is just as deserving of the ability to walk somewhere at night as I am, with most of my faculties and vision and my night vision and all that. So tell us about the See Me cane. You've got it on your shirt. Nice product placement there, sir.
Love it.
How did that come about?
I honestly, I had ran out of clean clothes, so I didn't put that one on.
Mom's in Europe.
Yeah. The good thing about us talking digitally, though, is you didn't even have to put on clean clothes. We wouldn't have known the difference, man.
Exactly. Well, I have a bag of like conference clothes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, whatever.
Perfect.
Anyway,
Perfect.
but I mean, the story behind the See Me cane came from my situations of being not necessarily injured, but having encounters with vehicles that really shook me up. And some people will say I was hit. Other people will say, no, you weren't hit. I was hit. My first time I was hit by a car. My cane got hit, went down the street, and then the mirror hit my arm. And then the second time, it was about 3 weeks later, and I was in New York, and that one, the taxi driver just hit my cane. The third time, this one is a little blurry in my mind. I don't know why, because it's the most dramatic. But I ended up on the hood of this guy's car.
Oh my goodness.
But he was doing a California roll through a stop sign, so he was going really, really slow. And but I just, for some reason, I don't really remember it very well.
Yeah.
But all that stuff, so that, and then my friend getting severely injured, that's visually impaired, ended up in the hospital. And if she had a cane that lit up, she probably wouldn't have had that experience.
Mm.
And that is what set me in the path to start working on my invention, the See Me Cane.
Do you have
The
a
first,
do you have like a promo video or anything that I can put on our that we don't have to do it right now,
yeah,
but you can send it to me
I
afterwards?
mean, I have a cane right here.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
So,
Looks like a lightsaber.
oh yeah. So, yeah, this
Wow.
is the See Me Cane 1R
That would
that will
be
become it.
that would be hard to miss, right? And that's
Oh
the
yeah.
that's the point, right?
And this is one of my new features. It blinks.
Ooh, it's hard to miss
It's,
that one.
oh yeah.
Love
Oh
it.
yeah.
I want
Cool.
one just to have one. I think.
Yeah. Well, I tell people I now get to create the force, and I
Yep.
get to create the light show.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Very cool.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
And so I mean, I've been working on this for almost 7 years.
Has how has the blind community been pretty receptive to this?
Very much so. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't have put this much work into it
Yeah.
if it wasn't. Yeah, it's a problem that is a taboo topic in the blind community. But it's also a really cool factor.
Why? I'm just curious. Do you know?
You don't. We don't want to get into blind politics.
Okay.
I try to be careful with too much blind politics on
I mean, that's fair.
platforms.
I'm naive
But,
to this, so whatever you're
yeah.
comfortable talking
Well, I mean,
about, I'm just
let's
curious.
just put it this way: there's a school of thought that says all you need is a little stick that is extremely light, and that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another school of thought: use all the resources you can get and go anywhere you want to go. Those are the two different main school of thoughts. They collide all the time.
Interesting.
And so, me bringing this product into the market is bringing up the taboo topic on the people that say all you need is a white cane that is extremely light. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. You can do everything. But my thing is why did one of your students get hit by a train last week?
Mm-hmm.
Why did a person get hit by a car a couple of weeks ago? Like out of your own school. Like
right.
These are the issues that they're not talking about.
Right.
And so my thing is, on the back of my shirts, it says 1 out of 3 visually impaired people get hit by cars. That statistic is not correct. It's actually 1 out of 2.
Oh wow!
Visually impaired people get hit by cars, but I don't have any data that supports that.
Yeah.
That 1 out of 2. But every time I go interview 100 people, 50 of them, right down the middle.
Right.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I've been hit by cars.
See, and we'll get out of the blind politics thing, but in my opinion, I mean, that's why we have headlights on our cars, right? So people can see you in the dark. You don't want people to run into you. They want you to see them coming. It's the same school of thought. And I want people to see you, Kelvin, when you're coming. I don't want them to hit you. I don't want to accidentally hit you if you step out on accident because you thought you were by a crosswalk and when it was actually down the road for a roundabout, because I do watch your Instagram. I just watched that.
That's the roundabout.
Yeah. So
those are my biggest pet peeves ever.
Yeah. Well, hey, off topic a little bit. I hate roundabouts too. I crashed my motorcycle on a roundabout and broke my teeth out. So
did lots of damage to those mouths.
Let's just get rid of those things. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously this invention, the See Me Cane, came out of a need, safety, awareness. What's something you would like to say to the general public, if you could, in regard to awareness with people with disabilities, specifically the ones that you have, or something that you wish was better understood in that world? Can you speak to that a little?
Yeah. Well, my brain goes a whole different direction than probably where you wanted me to go.
No, please.
Because here's the thing is, I've been running this business by myself.
Yeah.
I funded this business all through pottery sales. I ran that pottery business by myself. I can't see and I can't hear. So why can't I do a job?
Mm.
This is one of my biggest frustrations to the able-bodied community.
Yeah.
I'm saying, give us visually impaired people a chance.
Mm.
We'll work more faster and more harder than a lot of seeing people.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
speaking to that, you're speaking to struggles finding employment specifically. Is that
in a lot of ways, yes.
okay?
I mean, I've been very, very fortunate. I'm really good at negotiations. I'm really good at getting a deal done.
Mm-hmm.
All my jobs that I've gotten all have become food deals before I went on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And but not everybody like me, and I realize I'm not normal.
That's
I
a good
realize
thing.
that, and uh, this is where, like, my whole goal is, as I get to the point, because our launch date's October 15th, White Cane Awareness Day,
Mm.
and for the See Me Cane, my whole goal is to be able to really show people I built this business, and that there are a lot of people with visual impairments that can do the same thing. It just are you willing to give them a chance?
Mm-hmm.
They're able to build a program, or they can build a system, or they can run your operation. They can do all sorts of things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just people have a hard time understanding what that looks like.
So again,
And
coming from an able-bodied person with all of the naivety in the world when it comes to what you deal with day in day out, and just wanting a curiosity and wanting to understand. I've had this conversation with Andrew about disabilities as well, and so I have a feeling I know where this is going to go. The Americans with Disabilities Act doesn't allow people to discriminate on jobs based on those disabilities.
Mhm.
Is it your opinion, or is it your experience that just doesn't happen and people do discriminate and just get away with it? Or or are you talking kind of about something else?
no, it's definitely discrimination.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I hate that word personally,
Sure.
but it really, what it comes down to, first impressions. I mean, one of the biggest blessings being blind now, I don't have to worry about first impressions.
Mm.
I get to be the best person I can possibly be when you meet me, and I can be the best example of Jesus with skin on him
Mm-hmm.
when you meet me. But that's not the world, and so I mean, I'll never forget. I went for a job interview one time. It was a paint shop. They got paint buckets everywhere that they sell.
Mhm.
And who tripped over a paint bucket? Me, on the way into the job interview. And so like, there goes that first impression.
Right.
So it all comes down to those first impressions. And the thing for me is, people that people visually impaired that are getting hired, the person that's doing the interview or the person that works there either has had experience with somebody with visual impairments, or knows that it is possible, and they're willing to give it a shot.
Mhm.
Not everybody is that way. And if you look at the statistic, if you look at 10 people, you're lucky that one has ever met a blind person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And so that's where, for me, like, that's why my whole company is designed 100% built, manufactured, designed, and sold by visually impaired people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
You
really
know,
cool.
Yeah.
and um, so that if I can encourage anybody, that if you're in a position to be able to hire, just reach out to me. I can tell you the
Yeah.
crazy ways that we can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I
um,
think some of it also would be on the part of the visually impaired person, or whatever
yep.
the handicap might be, or I don't know if you use that word anymore.
Disability,
And
yeah. Remember.
um,
I like to say
is that they
challenges.
don't have the confidence to try, and they haven't
Yeah.
been taught how to give that first impression, or they haven't,
Yeah.
that because they're kind of forgotten. It's
Yeah.
like, well, just don't even bother doing that because I have a cousin who is probably 81 now, maybe 80ish,
Mhm.
and she was born blind. So I have known a blind person, and but back in the 50s and 40s, they were sent off to a blind school, and
Mhm.
she learned Braille, and she learned a lot of stuff, and she worked her whole life in a potato chip factory,
Mhm.
but she worked. Um, but I think there's maybe a long way to go in preparing people that have these impairments to give the right impression and to learn how to do what we know that they'd be
Yeah.
capable of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I host another podcast called Investing in Accessibility,
Mm.
and I will say we're kind of on this. The bucket's getting really really full. The opportunity for people with disabilities to go to work is getting more and more opportunities.
Oh, that's good.
Um, but the struggle is still the visual impairment because people just really struggle seeing past.
Mm.
If you can't see the screen, how you supposed to work?
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
Exactly.
and those are the things that you gotta think through.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, like I will agree 100% with you. It is on the person with disability to have the skills to
Mhm.
be competitive in the workplace. And so, and that is one thing I found when I was a job developer and carving out jobs for blind people, that there was something that it was I was a lot better than most of my clients
Mm.
in the tech space. And so that was one thing I realized, that we need to create better programs
Right.
for visually impaired people to do that.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Training programs would be good.
So Kelvin, we've got about 10 minutes left, but I know I want to be respectful of your time. So I want to get to a few more things before we go. I feel
yep.
like we could keep this
Oh
conversation
yeah.
going.
It'd
So
be so
Oh
fun.
yeah.
yeah, so
If
maybe
I didn't have a hard shutdown, I would let you go.
it's all good. It's good to
Uh,
make our listeners want a little more. Maybe we'll have you back on again in the
yeah.
future. Um, so before we go though, I want to ask you to share a couple pieces of advice if you would.
Yep.
The first one for anyone listening that feels like that maybe they're in the darkest part of their life, like you were
Hmm.
when you were 19 and going through that.
Hmm.
Maybe something major changed with them. Maybe it's a culmination of a lot of things. What would you
Hmm.
say to someone who's feeling like you were feeling when you went out to the woods?
Yeah. What what I still remember like it was yesterday.
Oh.
Mm,
One of the things that I kept seeking was peace.
Mm.
I needed that darkness to settle. But once I turned it from peace and I asked God for joy, everything started changing.
mm,
Because peace only settles your emotions, your feelings. Joy is essentially your key to take all of that darkness and take it all in and be able to settle all of it down and give you 2020 sight
Mm.
to move forward. And so what I would encourage you to do today is to ask God, ask the Holy Spirit to give you some joy right now.
Mm.
You'll be amazed within the next 30 minutes to an hour that darkness can decide. Not gonna be easy,
Mhm.
but it will settle.
mm,
I mean, think about it. When you have a water and you put dirt in it, it doesn't just all go to the bottom.
mhm,
It slowly goes to the bottom.
Mm.
And when you ask God to give you a little joy in this moment, it just settles it so that you can take the first step.
Mm.
Because again, you're gonna have to move past it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But that first step is so important.
Yeah.
And so that's my advice.
Awesome. Thank you
Makes
so
me want to
much.
do a Bible study on joy.
Right. Okay. Second, for the community around you, around us, the world, the society, however you want to phrase that, people are dealing with all sorts of different things that life throws at them. Some of them we can see. Maybe you're a wheelchair user, or maybe you're an amputee or something. Or maybe some of them we can't see. I can't see if you're hard of hearing. I might not even be able to tell that you're blind, or maybe I can't see at all and I am blind, or dealing with anxiety, depression. Anyway, we all know things. How can we be better allies and advocate for our fellow humans? Put that however you want. How can we, as people who want to be aware of those that are dealing with things, how can we be better at being an ally?
So I think the best thing is, if you're the person with the challenge, the disability, or the struggle, is to share your story. Because then once you share, it starts educating. And so once you start educating, the more people start, oh, that's interesting. How do I work with that? Oh, I mean, you'll find that there are good people in the world still. It might be hard to find them, but there are
They're
still
hiding.
good people. Yeah. I feel like we're all hiding.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, share your story.
Cool.
Whether do a blog, do a YouTube video, or just go to a coffee shop. I don't know. I mean, share your story, however format or somehow.
Come on our
I mean,
podcast.
yeah, come on your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the key thing is to share the story, so that way other people they start learning your life, and they start understanding your struggle. And so
People can't be empathetic if they don't know what's going on. I really appreciate that. And Kelvin, I can't thank you enough for reaching out to me, and for sharing your story this evening with us, and being so open and honest about your struggles and your joy and all that. I know it's meant a lot to me. I know Mom well enough to know that it's meant a lot to her.
The joy is so evident. And I know, I love you.
Well, I appreciate you having me on your platform. I mean, I always take these things seriously, because I mean, this is your audience, and you're nurturing your audience, and I know very well how to nurture your audience.
Well, thank you again. Where can people find you? Where can they find your work, support your mission, learn about the See Me cane, all that? Where can we point them?
Yeah, if you want to just everything be in one spot, just go to kelvincrosby.com. That is where you'll find everything about me, between the DeafBlind Potter, the See Me cane, the Perseverance podcast, and then also any of my public speaking stuff, anything I do there. If you want to go directly to the platform for different things, so like for the See Me cane, the light blind cane, or you get white cane, seemecane.com is your platform there. And then the pottery side of my life is on deafblindpotter.com.
Very cool.
And then as I did talk about investing in accessibility, if you want to check out that podcast, that's investinginaccessibility.com.
Okay.
And
we'll put
I'm
sorry, go ahead, keep going.
Oh yeah. Well, just go to those websites, you'll find all the socials.
Okay.
Because they're gonna have tons of links on this notes if you put all the socials. So just put the websites, and you can work on the socials from there.
All right, sounds good. And we'll put all that into our show notes.
Show notes.
I like that. Showing wings.
Yeah.
Showing noise. You can do it, Kelvin. Come on.
So thank you again, Kelvin Crosby, for being with us today, and thanks, Mom, for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be part of this.
This has been another episode of Headspace by My Mama Done Told Me. I'm Jeff. That's Mama Kathy, and this has been Kelvin Crosby. We hope you keep your minds open and be kind to each other. We love you.
And go live beyond your challenges.
Good night.
Good night.
It means that I'm a really good rapper. I'm a really good rapper. So let me get you a good beat. A ping, bang, bang. 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 A trick a ping, bang, bang.
Ah.